Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Fragrance Fireside Chat. I'm your host Cody. With that, let's just go ahead and get into the video. It's been another 2 weeks. As those of you who have not noticed, I've actually moved my Fragrance Fireside Chats to about 2 weeks apart. And the reason being, kind of had a little lull. I wanted to put out some other videos in that time span, like do a couple more female reviews, do a couple more reviews just in there, and put out some more videos, and it kind of meshed together. Like, I don't really like to release videos on days to days, back to back to back to back. I kind of want to space it out, pace myself so that I can continually release content and not, go on sabbaticals or anything like that. So it works out well for me. System works out well, and that's kind of why I've moved it to 2 weeks. Feels a little bit more natural. I don't really have to come on every week and say something basically to go through it. All right. My scent of the day today was a fragrance that I'm testing out for the last. It was my last wearing, and it's Victor & Rolf's Spice Bomb. So you should see this review as my next video, most likely on Wednesday. I'll save my comments for it. Spice Bomb. Yeah, I'll save my comments for that review. So Spice Bomb is going to be the next review. I have a couple other videos and ideas actually coming up. Progress is still coming along on the fragrance directory. It's a lot of work, but I'm pacing myself out just so I can release it. So hopefully, it's looking like my estimate was at the end of January, where I don't think I'm going to be finished by the end of this week. So I'm saying sometime in February now. So sorry about that. It's delayed, but it's coming. And it should be a good video. I don't think, now that I think of it though, that it'll probably get too many views, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. As far as sale-wise goes, I've been getting a lot of IMs regarding my sale of my fragrances. I mentioned it a couple times now, and I definitely will be selling a bunch of my fragrances, actually. The one thing that's limiting that, though, whether or not I sell my fragrances, is one, I've gotta make the time for it. I'm really bad at time. And I know this, and that's one of the main reasons why I don't actually sell fragrances, is because, I have got a lot of things going on, in my life, and I make, certain time for certain things, especially like videos and stuff like that, and I have to kind of block out and schedule my time if I want to remain productive at the same time. And going to the post office, to be perfectly honest, is really a huge annoyance to me, and especially sending things out, you got to package it up correctly, make sure everything is correct. Send it out to the person, gather the addresses and everything like that, send it out to the person, make sure that it actually gets to the person and tracks it. And one thing that I absolutely hate is when something goes wrong and somebody doesn't receive a fragrance. Which, by the way, brings me to another point. I'm open to sending it to international people as well. People in the international community, I'm absolutely open to sending it, with one caveat. Because there is no way for me to actually track the fragrances as they go internationally, I've tried it a couple times. Maybe they've changed it, but I'm pretty sure they haven't. I haven't been able to track a fragrance or something that I send internationally. And because of that, I don't feel too comfortable in sending it. It doesn't mean that I won't. But what it does mean is, if I'm sending it to someone internationally, you're just going to have to trust. If I say that I sent it, I sent it. Beyond that, I can't really do anything about it. So I know a lot of people like to not send people international because of that. They don't have any control of it, and they don't want to get into that whole thing. I'm willing to do it with that caveat. Just understand that if I send it out, if I send it to you, I sent it to you. I'm not sure what else to tell you. I'll take a photo of the package right before I send it, just to make sure that, all is right, but keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm not assuming any responsibility for anything that goes on if I can't track it. Simple as that. But, international, if you feel like taking on that risk, by all means, go ahead. So, one thing that's actually been doing really well, and this is more of a personal life thing, is my resolutions. I actually started my New Year's resolutions a lot sooner than January. I started them in November-ish or something like that. And they've been going great. One this one I started a little bit more recently, but one was to learn swimming, and I've been on track. I can actually swim the full length of a pool, head down, bullet, swim the whole length basically, coming up to breathe, just learn how to breathe through my nose, or breathe out of my nose while I'm underwater, and I'm kind of getting the rhythm down, breathing out, making bubbles to make sure that, water doesn't come up my nose, coming up for air and swimming. Basically, it's going great. I can definitely feel real progress being made, and I'm fairly confident by the summertime that I'll be ready, to one of my, I guess you could say, wanderlust goals is to visit the Great Barrier Reef and to go swimming in the Great Barrier Reef, basically, and just to, take in the beauty around me. And that's really why I'm trying so hard at swimming. So swimming was one goal. I'm on a full, weight training program. That's going excellent. I started that one in beginning of December. It was a brand new one that's working out extremely well. My goal on that whole thing was to get my body fat percentage down lower than 9% and increase my my standards, my bench, my deadlift, my squats, I wanted to get it to high 200s, low 300s, basically. So that's progressing really well. I don't think I'll be able to do that in a year, but I think I'll be able to come close, at least. So those have been going pretty good. Basically, I've introduced a lot of physical and a lot of, traveling into my life, and it's been going really, really well. Can't say enough about it, and at the same time, I'm still loving my fragrance collecting hobby and everything like that. It's going absolutely fantastic. And I've been sharing it with people that I've come across and met. So it's been really... Oh, I'm also picking up Tango. I've got a fellow fragrance enthusiast here who is a tango teacher, excellent tango teacher. He's actually going to teach a couple workshops, I think in Australia, and then he's coming back here in late February, and that's when we're going to begin up the lessons. I'm going to learn how to tango. So a couple things going pretty well. On the fragrance front, I'm, like I said, trimming down my collection, and what it's going to be now, at least on the review scene, is I'm still going to buy bottles, go through the whole review process, give it my review, and then sell it. And I think this is going to be better, especially for my reviews, because it's going to allow me to even buy fragrances that I don't necessarily want, and then post it. Which brings me to actually the final point, or the final thing that I want to mention in Fragrance Fireside Chat. I will most likely be getting a page up. Yes, I'm going to finally do it. I'm going to finally get either a Facebook page. I've been thinking about Facebook page because it's the most simple, but the problem is I want to get all my subscribers, and I know all my subscribers aren't comfortable with, joining Facebook and giving their Facebook information, which I completely agree with. I personally think we give too much information out, and so I'm looking for alternative ideas around. So if any of you guys have any ideas of how I can kind of like base my, I guess you could say, fragrance operation outside of YouTube, feel free, leave me a message, let me know. I may get I've got my personal accounts up, like my Twitter, my Instagram. Some of my subscribers have found me, but I don't really post that many fragrance related things on it. I kind of keep these two worlds separate, and if a lot of my actual friends know that I have this fragrance enthusiast, but I'm not on my Facebook page, posting about Facebook. I've never posted any of my YouTube links on my Facebook page. That's just how I am. I kind of like to keep it separate. And think of this as like an experimentation study entity, basically. So if you have any suggestions for how I should do this, I'm thinking of a standard page. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a forum up. I don't know. But we'll see what actually happens with it. And I kind of wanted to use it as a springboard also and place... I'm going to have videos up and to sell my fragrances, but maybe some kind of way that I can kind of post a sticky, persistent list. And what I might also do... And this is one thing that was brought up by a subscriber. Actually, like 4 subscribers actually brought it up. And I'm extremely thankful. Our dog was one of them who brought it up. And that was, for fragrances that you want me to review, I can't get to every single fragrance that is out there. And so fragrances that people want me to review, I'm going to start giving the option that you guys can send me the fragrance. I'll review it and do whatever, and then send it back to you, basically, or do whatever, something along those lines. So it'll allow me to kind of do mail-in reviews, if you will, of a fragrance. Now, I'm kind of wary about this because I know some people who will stick like something like Secretions Magnifique, or throw in, fragrances that they know I hate, in a vial, say it's one thing, and then just send it to me. There's a bunch of different ways to troll that, and I kind of want to go around it. I'll probably put a P.O. box up just so, we'll see how I'm going to actually do that one. Right, but either way, let me know what your thoughts are on it. Sorry this was a little bit long, but just felt like talking for a bit. But let me know what your thoughts are on all that. Let me know what your scent of the days are, obviously. Obviously, again, mine was Spice Bomb. And thank you, take care of yourselves, and have a great day.